Tonight, new details on Broken Hill's roadmap to freedom revealed, and Eyre Peninsula's health authorities preparing for a vaccination blitz of rural communities.
From our 7 Spencer Golf Studios, your nightly news with John Hunt begins now.
Good evening. The tables have turned in the Far West COVID outbreak. Wilcannia has now gone 3 days without a case, but cases continue to trickle through in Broken Hill. Meanwhile, New South Wales recorded its lowest case numbers in more than a month.
787 new cases in New South Wales and numbers in Broken Hill are concerning authorities. To 8 p.m. last night, all 4 cases in the Far West were recorded in Broken Hill. Only 1 case is unlinked.
There is a view held by certain quarters that this may be impacting on a particular community. Well, that's not the case. What the numbers are telling us that actually the positive cases right across the board. There were 12 deaths across the state in the last reporting period, but as of this afternoon, there are no COVID patients in any Far West hospital. And after a challenging time for Wilcannia, where 1 in 5 locals contracted COVID, there's signs the community is almost in the clear, with 8 cases in the last week. It's a relief. I mean, when you think about that, we haven't seen the levels of hospitalising we have seen in other LHDs. As focus moves more to Broken Hill, 13 casual contact exposure sites added since Friday. There's now 27 sites across the city. Visit the New South Wales government website for the full list. And with supermarkets often being listed as exposure sites, locals are being told to think ahead before heading to the shops. I would advise everyone to really try to limit the number of times you're going to the shops at this stage. Again, plan your shopping, do your weekly shopping. Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Golf News.
And a date for Broken Hill's end to lockdown has all but been confirmed. We'll have more details later in the bulletin. Meanwhile, the Eyre and Far North Local Health Network is stepping up their efforts to vaccinate the region against COVID-19. A number of pop-up clinics will open in the coming weeks.
A shot in the arm for our region's fight against COVID. Pop-up clinics will set up throughout the Eyre Peninsula, improving accessibility in rural communities. The local health network increasing the availability of the Pfizer vaccine.
Really happy to now be able to offer Pfizer in Port Lincoln 5 days a week.
There has been strong demand for the vaccine in Port Lincoln and around the region. More than 600 doses were administered at a similar clinic in Ceduna last week. The local health network CEO pleased with the vaccination rates.
Sitting around the state average, around 60% of people that have been vaccinated have at least had their first dose, and we're sitting on the state average of second dose, so I think that's about 45%.
In a statement, Health Minister Stephen Wade says the establishment of these clinics is part of the government's strategy to lift the vaccination rates in remote areas.
The other good news is on October the 23rd and 24th, we'll be opening for 2 full days, so that's a Saturday and a Sunday, and that'll be for walk-ins.
Pop-up clinics in Elliston, Coffin Bay, Lock, Kimber, Cow, Cleve, Cummins and Tumby Bay will be opening over the next few weeks. Head to the SA Health website to book an appointment. Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Golf News.
Encouraging graduate teachers to stay in country South Australia is the focus of a new funding package for public schools in regional and rural areas. The Teachers' Union is calling for the country service pay incentives to be extended.
Getting young and upcoming teachers to consider a career in the country. The state government announcing its first ever strategy for education in regional and rural areas.
We want every child in whatever town or suburb they're in South Australia to get access to a world-class education that will support them to fulfil their potential.
$15 million will be invested over 3 years, focusing on infrastructure improvements and IT upgrades. In addition, the government will work with universities to better incentivise graduate teachers to begin their careers in country areas.
Many towns across country Australia do a really good job of helping teachers when they come into the school environment, welcoming them into the town, getting them involved in community.
However, the member for Giles says the government should extend the country service incentive for existing teachers. He says there is a need for country schools in his electorate to have a stable workforce.
Once the country incentives are run out, they often leave the community. So country schools deserve continuity.
The Education Union agrees with the extension, but overall supports the new package.
It's great to see the government is finally listening and putting some things on the table that we've been asking for many years. We now want to make sure that educators and AU members are consulted as part of the implementation of this plan.
Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
And incentives for teachers in regional New South Wales have been revised amid ongoing industrial action. Among the changes, a boost of targeted recruitment bonuses to $20,000, doubling rural teacher scholarships and building new accommodation. The state government will also spend $13.5 million to bring 500 STEM teachers from overseas and interstate. The Teachers Federation says staff shortages can't be fixed without increased salaries and a reduced workload. Still to come tonight, we have more details on New South Wales's easing of restrictions as pools begin to reopen, and funds now available to improve local fishing facilities. Welcome back. 2 men have been charged over a spate of alleged break-ins in Broken Hill. Police were investigating break-and-enters on Lane Lane, Blend Street and William Street between the 17th and the 21st. It's alleged more than $20,000 was taken from a home safe, $15,000 worth of cigarettes from a business, and a number of items from storage sheds. An 18-year-old is currently before the courts, while a 28-year-old will appear next month. And local police will be cracking down on domestic violence offences in Broken Hill over the next few weeks. Operation Fairplay will run until the 9th of October, with police conducting compliance checks on AVOs and serving outstanding warrants on all DV offenders. Western Region sponsor for domestic violence Steve Laxer encouraging the community to contact police if they see or hear domestic violence or abuse, saying it simply won't be tolerated. It's all but confirmed. Broken Hill will come out of lockdown on the 11th of October, with vaccination targets reached earlier than expected. Today there was another small step towards freedom, with the city's outdoor pool reopening.
Another plunge towards lockdown lifting. Eager swimmers returning to Broken Hill's Regional Aquatic Centre, opening for the first time in more than a month.
I wasn't sure the outdoor pool was going to be open for some time, so to have it open, that's really great.
Another early pass for locked down areas made possible by vaccination rates. It's also open to those who haven't had their jab.
For those people who do general exercise, swim because they have rehab for their muscles or injuries, it's very important.
Under the reopening roadmap, further detailed today, indoor pools won't open until December, but we're only a fortnight away from coming out of lockdown at 70% vaccination.
And I can say quite confidently that we envisage 11th of October will be the day that we'll be able to adhere to that roadmap.
For fully vaccinated people, the stay-at-home order will lift. Businesses will be able to reopen with 1 person per 4 square metres. When we hit 80% double dose a few weeks later, community sport resumes. Travel between Sydney and the regions will be allowed. And on the 1st of December, all will have the same freedom regardless of vaccination, setting us up for a mostly normal Christmas, but with hospitalisations still to reach its predicted peak. The message to stay COVID safe is still being pushed.
It's not until 1st of December where unvaccinated people will have any level of freedom that is on par with the vaccinated. So that's a message for businesses that staff must be vaccinated.
Lachlan Itter, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The company behind a proposed solar farm near Whyalla says it's received initial positive community feedback, with more consultation sessions also planned. The Yondo Ilga solar farm will generate close to 300 megawatts of renewable energy.
It's a step in the right direction. The first online community session was held last Thursday to discuss a proposed solar farm north of Whyalla. Developers taking the chance to outline their plans with local residents.
The purpose of the consultation really is to inform the community about the project proposal. I guess seek feedback from the community about just the general feeling towards it.
EPS Energy, who are partners in the project, say initial feedback from the session has been positive. Residents keen to ask questions about many different aspects of the solar farm, which will be built near False Bay.
The feedback that we got generally was resigningly positive. Some of those sorts of comments that were coming back at us were things like the more green power, the better.
The company, along with fellow partner AMP Energy, is now preparing to lodge a formal development application with the state government.
I think it was resoundingly positive. It's a very supportive community. The community understands the benefit for jobs and economic growth. AMP is very committed to South Australia.
More opportunities for residents to give their feedback will be organised once the application is submitted. Mark Zita, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
The state's recreational fishing sector is set to receive a boost, with grants up for grabs to improve boating, camping and fishing facilities. The Primary Industries Minister is encouraging local councils to lodge an application.
Reeling in opportunities. Recreational fishing given a $1.7 million boost to improve or develop new boating, camping and fishing facilities across the state.
To improve boating ramps, fishing platforms, camping facilities, toilet blocks and even marine rescue facilities. So there's a real opportunity.
Applications are now open for the joint Commonwealth and state government program, with grants of between $3,500 and $200,000 available. The minister says the industry is an important economic asset in regional areas.
It's important that we recognise the significant impact that fishing has on our regional areas in particular. There are a huge number of people out there fishing. It's estimated there's 277,000 people who recreationally fish.
Residents encouraged to speak to their local council so they can put a submission together.
This will have flow-on effects to the local tackle shops, local restaurants. As people are out in the regions, they'll be out spending.
In a statement, the Minister's Recreational Fishing Advisory Council chair backed the program, saying it will provide great value for recreational fishers, while also building our great outdoor lifestyle of camping, boating and fishing. Applications close on October 29. Katrina Musson, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Stay with us. 8 of our region's tourism businesses nominated for awards. And we have all the highlights from a remarkable SGL Grand Final. Eight Eyre Peninsula and Far West businesses have been nominated for the 2021 South Australian Tourism Awards, the event recognising the state's finest operators, with a number of awards up for grabs.
Recognition after an uncertain 18 months. Tourism businesses from across the Eyre Peninsula are being noticed for what they deliver.
What it shows is the enthusiasm and the commitment that our industry is seeing as we build through COVID.
The Tourism Industry Council South Australia Awards celebrates the state's finest tourism attractions, accommodation and events, while acknowledging business innovation. Port Lincoln's Summer Indulgence campaign, one of 8 finalists from the region.
A very big campaign, and it was a significant investment by the city and Bendigo Bank in helping Port Lincoln recover from COVID lockdown.
The campaign featured local attractions and businesses and included 10 videos and more than 200 photos posted on social media.
When we first launched it, it had an enormous impact. We had a phenomenal summer period that went pretty much beyond summer.
The Commission says the future for the sector looks bright.
got a very bright future. I think 2022 is going to be a cracker of a year for domestic tourism. People are going to, get out and explore our great state and our country. And I think, Australia is really well positioned for domestic tourism in 2022.
Dylan Smith, 7 Spencer Gulf News.
Close to 9,000 hectares of public and private land in South Australia will be the focus of prescribed burns in coming months to help reduce the risk of bushfires. 90 prescribed burns are planned between spring this year and autumn next year. The state government says the first burns of the season took place last week on private land in the Northern Eyre Peninsula. The Bureau of Meteorology is predicting a wetter than average spring. Turning to sport now, and the last of the region's football grand finals took place over the weekend. The SGL Grand Final a thriller, with Prop Brisbane storming home to take the flag. Our reporter Katrina Musson has this week's footy wrap.
In an enthralling game of football, it was the Lions who finished as the 2021 Spencer Gulf Football League premiers, in a match that needed extra time to produce a result. It was Solomon Town who went into the grand final as the favourites, after only losing 2 games this season. Lions landing their spot after defeating South Augusta by 50 points in the preliminary final. Prop Brisbane hadn't bet Sollies all season, and for 3 quarters on Saturday, it seemed that streak would continue. The Cats led by 9 points at quarter time and 11 points at the main break. With a quarter to go, Solomon Town were up by 29 points, only to be overrun by a fast-finishing Lions. In a match-defining move, the Lions put Andrew Wright into the middle, resulting in them winning the clearances. When Trav Lee scored at the 24-minute mark of the final term, they amazingly led by a point. But a Corey Davey behind levelled the scores at 64 points apiece, sending the game into extra time. The Lions dominating the period, scoring 2 goals, whilst holding Sollies to just a point. Prop Brisbane's Andrew Wright named best on ground, while Hugo Wallace booted 5 goals. Solly's Dylan Boundy scored 4 goals for his side. The Lions atoned for last year's disappointment, where they lost to South by 7 goals, after ironically leading that match by 6 goals. A remarkable day for the merged club. It's their second SGL premiership. Their last was in 2015. Congratulations to the Lions for their premiership win, and also to Solomon Town for putting up a strong fight for the flag. We'll be back tomorrow night with a wrap-up of the region's other sports.
Stay with us after the break. Broken Hill Cinema secures federal government funding, and we will have all the latest weather details. Hello again. The Silver City Cinema is facing a brighter future, awarded a $35,000 grant. The funding coming from the federal government's Screen Fund, which helps independent cinemas stay afloat during the pandemic. Member for Parks Mark Coulton saying the cinema is a local treasure and one of the last remaining in Western New South Wales. 158 cinemas have so far received the grant. Turning to the weather now, and Alex Sykes is away, so I will be taking you through all the details. And it was a mostly fine day, with temperatures nudging 30 degrees in some parts. From 3 p.m. today, Port Augusta was 29, Port Lincoln was partly cloudy and 20, and Broken Hill was sunny, reaching a mild 24 degrees. Looking further out across the region now, Whyalla was 26, Port Pirie was also partly cloudy and 26, Kadina was 25, as was Adelaide, and Coober Pedy had the region's high, hitting a balmy 32 degrees. Taking a look at the satellite image now, and scattered cloud extending from the north to the south across central parts of South Australia will generate showers and the odd storm, mainly in southern parts. Skies are clearest in the northeast. Moving on to tomorrow's weather outlook now, and as always, we'll start with the Gulf waters. Northeast winds 15 to 20 knots, seas reaching a metre, and there will be a south to southwesterly swell between 1 and 1.5 metres. Looking at tomorrow's temperatures, and a few showers forecast on the Eyre Peninsula. Port Lincoln 23 degrees, Cleve a little warmer 26 degrees, Woodner 27. It will be mostly sunny in the upper Spencer Gulf, Whyalla reaching 28, Port Augusta partly cloudy and 29, Kadina a chance of a shower 24 there. Port Pirie can expect a shower tomorrow, 28 forecasted there. Cleve set to top 21 degrees with a few showers. And Broken Hill will reach 26. Some rain also expected there. Taking a look further through the week now, and cooler temperatures expected in most parts on Wednesday. Port Augusta 23 in showers. Whyalla and Woodner both 21, showers and 19 forecast for Port Lincoln, Port Pirie 22, and Adelaide will be 19 with the chance of some showers. On Thursday, showers in most parts. Port Pirie and Whyalla both 20, Port Lincoln 18, Kadina set for a top of 19 degrees, Port Augusta 22, and Coober Pedy will be sunny and also is set for the region's high, 25 expected there. And those showers are expected to clear in western areas by Friday. Woodner 23, Whyalla 19. Coober Pedy sunny and 27 degrees. The wet conditions set to continue in the mid-north, however. Port Pirie can expect a shower 19 degrees there. Adelaide a shower and 17. And Broken Hill will be partly cloudy. The Silver City is expected to reach 21 degrees. And that's the local news this Monday evening. Thanks for joining us. I'll have updates later, and we will return tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Until then, on behalf of the team, enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.